Hey there, I'm going to show you how I bring my drawings in and turn them into blocks in EQ. But first I'm going to go up to block and import an image. These are images that I've already drawn by hand. I still do everything by hand before I do it in EQ. So here we go. I just want this little section of 3. I'm going to click it in here and you see my little hand-drawn sketch. The first thing I do is give myself a reference point. So I'm going to make their noses. And I go up here with the freehand tool and I just start outlining what I've drawn. And this isn't as difficult as you would think. And of course, when you're doing your own drawings, it's easier to follow the lines because you got your own style. Go up and edit it. And just click on each little node and bring the lines in to match, what I've drawn. You're basically just tracing your own work, or a piece of clip art or something that you've gotten offline. And I'll right click and hide my image, make sure I'm happy with how this looks. I want a little bit more of a curve here, smooth it out some. Bring it down a little there. I'm happy with that, so I'll show my image again. Go on to the next gnome. Now I'm making these applique patterns that are going to go in one of my retail patterns, and I know that people will use blocks from it for other projects, not just necessarily making this one quilt. So I'm going to make sure that each gnome has a complete body part, so that they can be used in pillows or mug rugs or anything that you would want to use them for at home. So that means that this guy's hat here needs to have a complete end on it over here in this section. So again, I'll hide my image. No, it looks like I might not have nodes. Well, they're connected. Also want to pay attention up here. That's about a ½ inch. You don't want to make your patches so small that they don't translate well onto the sewing machine. There's that node there. Now, I have mentioned before that I don't use a normal mouse. I use a Logitech Trackman. It's easier on my hands, with the arthritis. There's a little bit of a learning curve switching from a normal, regular mouse, traditional mouse, to a Trackman. But it sure is nice not hurting all the time when you're using it. Now see, I don't like how that is right there. Even though most of this was hidden, by the other gnome, if somebody wanted this gnome just by himself, I want his hat to be complete. And back over to the curve tool. Sometimes the freehand curve gives you a better shape than what you've actually sketched. You want to come far enough up into your other patches that you're catching enough seam allowance for folks to be using their fusible. So I'm trying to leave about 1/4 of an inch seam allowance on these guys. You don't want to leave too much. Now their bodies. Yeah, see, I probably should have made another node in that one. In fact, I'm going to right click, edit, and add a node. I'm going to add another node here too. That way I can pull this around and just get it a little more along the lines of what my sketch was. And I'll make a note in this pattern that when you're making these little patchwork gnomes, that you can definitely trim off some of this excess that would be behind the gnomes in the full pattern. See, I would trim all that off from behind this guy. Oh, grab the hat. Don't want to do that. All right, there my nodes didn't connect, so That took a little bit of adjusting. Didn't want that body. Okay, and they're all traced. So you switch over to the coloring side. Now that looks a little nasty because I didn't layer. I didn't draw from the back up. I just drew any way I wanted. So I'll go up here to the select. I'll start picking my patches, sending them to the back. And I just play with this until I get it looking the way I want it to. Now, I don't remember. Did I have the one in the middle in the back, or did I have the one in the front in the back? So I go back to this, look at my drawing. I've got the one in the middle in the back. So now, oh, you know what? His nose is in the front. I don't want the nose in the front. Now I'm happy with that. I can color it in. I want them to have red caps. I want each of their caps to be a little bit different so I can tell them apart. And give them some white beards. And I'm using the Ginny, oh, forgot what I said. The palette that you can, Ginny Briar, you can use it by default with Electric Quilt. I'll just color these guys in, give them some neutral. Oh no, that one, he looks too much like a wizard. Let's look up here. There we go. And save it. And that's how I bring my drawings into EQ.